Alright, so I just finished the basic map get put uh, problems. I can either do the medium logic, or I wouldn't mind trying these string problems with loops. I really like manipulating strings. It's a lot of fun. Um, I think I'll go ahead and start with the strings and see how hard they are. Um, Given a string, return a string where every character in the original, for every character in the original, there were two characters. Okay. So this would obviously require a loop. So we're gonna create the string result. This is gonna be the result. Let's be more descriptive. Double string is equal to nothing. Empty string. So what I'm going to have to do here is just have a for loop, and I equals 0. I is less than string dot length I plus plus. And then, so what I'm going to do here is just double string plus equals string dot char at I plus string dot char at I. I don't know if that works with the whole character issue. I don't know how characters do. Characters concatenate themselves? I don't actually know. So maybe, I mean, just to ensure that I will be able to get this, this works, I'll just use substring I plus 1. That shouldn't have any out of bounds problems, I don't think. And then return double string. I love this song. This is easily my favorite of all the Undertale songs. Another medium. Okay, so that worked. Cool. Count high. Return the number of times the string high appears anywhere in a given string. So I think that this one's pretty simple. Int high appearances. It's a little bit too descriptive probably, but alright. For int I equals 0, I is less than string dot length. String dot length minus 1, because we won't have to, like, we don't have to worry about looking at the end of the string, the last letter, because if the last letter can't have an I after it. It can't be an H and have an I because it's the last string. So there won't be a high after or on the last letter. And that will also allow us to kind of be to do this in an odd way. If string.char at I is equal to, I don't actually, I guess we can do substring. I don't know the rules of characters and comparing characters, so I'll just do substring dot equals H. I wonder if it matters the case. It doesn't look like it. I think they don't say it's whether it's case sensitive or not, so I'm going to assume it is. If string.substring, now we check that. So what we're going to do is check and see if that first letters H, and if it is, then we'll check the next one. I plus 1, I plus 2 dot equals I. Well, I get this. I guess this isn't necessary. Okay, so we don't need two if statements here. All I need to do is press add this and then go. Yeah, just check that entire thing, and then high appearances plus plus, and then return high appearances. Go. Yeah, that worked. Cool. Cat dog. Return true if string cat and dog appear the same number of times in a given string. Oh, cool. Okay, so I really like this song. What is this called? 5105. Stronger Monsters. I like this a lot. Okay. Int cat appearances. This is just gonna almost feel the same way as the other. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, that previous one, that would fail if the string had only one character. I think we'd get an out of bounds error. I almost want to go back and fix that. I don't know if it'll still be there. Yeah, it will be. So if string.length is less than or equal to 1, return high appearances. And that shouldn't change anything, it just makes it so that now if the string is too small, okay. Do we have a problem with it before? I guess we didn't. See, what I'm curious of is, okay, so let's imagine if there is 0. Oh, I guess it's just lucky with how it's set up. So, the way it's set up, if it's 0, this loop won't ever run. If it's 1, it will... I'm confused. It'll start at 0 and end at 2, so it'll look for 0 and 1, right? What happens if... Is there an out of bounds error here? If that... What I don't understand is... Let's comment this out. I'm confused at how this works now. I'm confused how this case works. Because it would... Oh, right, because of our -1 clause, it wouldn't run at all. Because it would say string.length, which is 1, minus 1, which is 0. And this starts at 0. Okay. I've got it. I know what I'm doing. So we didn't need this at all. Alright, well I just wanted to make sure that that was right. Okay, so this one, we're going to do this similarly. Int cat appearances is equal to 0. Int dog appearances is equal to 0. Now, and we're going to do this very similar. Int I equals 0. I is less than string.length minus 2, because that's we don't have to check those last couple of digits, because if it's too small there won't be any appearances, period. Or there won't be enough room to make appearances. Whatever, I explained this earlier. So then we're just gonna check. We're gonna have two checks here. So if string.substring I plus 3. Is that right? Yeah, I plus 3 is dot equals cat. Cat appearances plus plus. So here I'm going to do else if instead of if. It's very small, but it basically says, all right, if this is cat, then it can't also equal dog. So it has that else clause. Like this program would still work if I had just if, but adding this else ensures that you're not, if it does come up with a positive check for cat, that's not going to waste time checking and see if it's dog. Plus 3 dot equals dog. And I realize I need another parentheses here as well as here. Dog appearances. And so here we just need to return a boolean, so we need to return cat appearances is equal to dog appearances. And that will just turn it to a boolean if they run the same. Perfect. Alright, first try. Nice. Okay, so the next one, return the number of times that the string code appears anywhere in the given string, we'll accept any letter for the D, so it could be anything with that. Okay. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna keep doing it the same way. Except we're gonna have a special clause in there when we check during the for loop. So for int I equals 0, so I is less than string.length, and this one's gonna be minus 3 because we just continue to get. Oh, this is gonna be yeah, it's gonna be minus 3 I plus plus. So if string dot substring, so we're only going to check these first two, so we're going to go I and then I plus 3 dot equals CO, but then we also have to check that last one to make sure it's an E, and string.substring I plus 3 I plus 4, right? That equals. I mean, I might have gotten some of these numbers wrong. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think this is how it goes. Code appearances plus plus. Return code appearances. I think that's right. And I equals 0, I is less than string.length minus 3. If string.substring I and then I plus 3, so I just check CO, and then we'll check this last one here. Is that right? I plus 3? I think actually this is supposed to be plus 2. Yeah, I messed that up. So luckily I caught that. Perfect. Wonderful. I'm glad I proofread. Okay. Given two strings, return true if the strings appears. Wait. Given two strings, return true if either of the strings appears at the very end of the other string, ignoring upper or lower case differences. In other words, yeah, we don't worry about case sensitive. That means we're gonna, yeah, use 2 uppercase or 2 lowercase. So we're gonna check this right here. We're checking if either of them, if either of the strings appears at the very end. Okay, okay. So what I want to do here, because it's just a Boolean value, so we're not worried. I want to find out which one's the longest one. If a dot length is greater than or equal to b dot length, then okay. So I'm gonna say I want to keep the bigger word and the smaller word like separated, so I know which one's bigger. Big string is equal to empty string. Small string is equal to empty. So we're gonna find out which one's bigger, A or B. So this one shows that, okay, if A is big or it's equal to it's the same size, then it's gonna go into big string. Also, if B, actually I'm sorry, else. We'll say small string is equal to B. Else, big string is equal to B. And small string is equal to A. Okay. So, I think after we find that out, we can just turn this Boolean value right now. So, return big string dot substring, and then it's going to be small string, or it's going to be big string dot length minus small string dot length, and then it's going to end at its end, big string dot length. Okay, so that ensures that it's going to check the very end of that string. So is equal to dot equals, this is going to be a huge ass thing. Let's press enter here. Dot equals small string. And I think because we know the small string is the small string, we don't have to do any substring stuff. We just look exactly at it as it is. I hope that's right. It looks right to me. Big string dot length minus small string dot length. So there was a problem there. Big string dot substring, big string dot length minus small string dot length, and then ends at big string dot length. Let's try it. Oh, I didn't put parentheses right here. Missed one. Alright, let's try it now. Okay, so that didn't work. Oh, right, I totally forgot. It's not cap sensitive, so we have to make sure that we just change it all to the same case. And here we can just type it right here. Dot to lower case. Okay, that should work. Got it. This is a little too convoluted, but it still works. Who cares? Okay, return true if the given string contains an appearance of XYZ where the XYZ is not directly preceded by a period. So XYZ counts, but X dot XYZ does not count. Okay, so where the XYZ is not directly preceded by a period. So you can't have a period before it. So this one's interesting. We can't quite do it the same way that I did it before. I guess probably I could. So I just have to return true. For and I. Well, let's create the boolean as. Oh, I guess we don't need to. No, we don't need to. Equals 0. I is less than string dot length minus 2 I plus plus. So for or if string dot substring I plus 2, no 3, dot equals XYZ. And so here we have to check now if there's a period. But we have to check if a period before it. The problem is here, if this is the very beginning of the string, we can't look at the previous character because the character doesn't exist, and it'll give us an out of bounds error. So what we need to do is we'll say if I is equal to 0, that will ensure, okay, that if we're looking at the beginning of the string, that will say that we won't check. We can just say, okay, it'll fulfill the requirement. But here, string.substring or string.substring I minus 1 I dot equals period. Okay, and we want it to be not equal to that. Return true. And then return false. So for this, just to make sure I'm explaining myself correctly, we check and see if the current place we're looking at has the string XYZ. If it does have XYZ, we check and see, okay, are we at the very beginning of the string? Because if we are, there's no possible way that there's a period, so it will just automatically move on to true. If we're not at the very beginning of the string, we know it's okay to look back at a character before that without getting an out of bounds error. So we say, okay, so is this substring, is the character before the XYZ, is it equal to period? And we negate that. So is it not equal to period? If it's not equal to period, then we know that that's true. And then otherwise, if they go through all of this and we cannot find a positive value for this XYZ scenario, we just return false. Oh, okay, so I messed up this. I always forget to put the correct amount of parentheses. Perfect, yeah, so it did work. Okay, so return true if the given string contains a bob string, but where the middle O character can be any character. Okay, this is similar to one that we did with the code portion, where we were checking code. So it's just return true, so we can do the for loop right now. And I equals 0, I is less than string.length minus 2. I plus plus. So we just go if string.substring I plus 1 dot equals b, and string dot substring I plus 2 I plus 3 dot equals another b, then return true, return false. String. I hope I got the parentheses correctly. That looks right. Go! Alright, nice. Okay, so we'll say that a string is XY balanced for all the X characters in the string. There exists a Y character somewhere later in the string. So XXY is balanced, but XYX is not balanced. One Y can balance multiple X's. Okay, so this is pretty simple. I think I know what I'm doing here. We'll save the Boolean balanced is equal to, we'll say true. I think it's innately true if we don't ever see an X. So all we have to do is basically flip that Boolean off and on when we need to. I love this song, by the way. This one's called Undertale, right? 111.23. Yes, right here. Okay. For int I equals 0, we're gonna check the whole string here. I is less than string dot length I plus plus. So basically, all we have to do is say if string dot substring I plus 1 is equal to X. If it's equal to X, then things are gonna become imbalanced. So we just switch balanced off. And then we'll say else if string dot substring I plus 1 dot equals Y. It's gonna balance it all out if this is a Y. It's gonna counteract all of the false. And I need to add another parentheses here. Okay. Balanced is equal to true. And then return balanced. I think that's right. Beautiful. Alright, cool. Go to the next. Given two strings, A and B, create a bigger string made for the first character of A. Okay, wait, let me restart this. Given two strings, A and B, create a bigger string made for the first character of A, the first character of B, the second character of A, the second character of B, of so on. Any leftovers go at the end of the result. Okay, so this is one where I want to do the big string, little string thing again, because I need to know which one's the bigger and which one's the smaller one. But I can't just start. Okay, so what I could do here, because see, what I'm worried about is because you have to start A. You put the first character of A, then the first character of B. The first character of A, the first character of B. If I do it like I did the previous one where I checked which one was the longest string, it could potentially switch that, because let's say A is the biggest string or something, and then you start using B's characters first, that's going to give you the wrong answer. So I think what I'm going to do is just find the Boolean value to see which one's the longest one, and go from there. I'm not sure. I'm kind of gonna figure this out as I go. Boolean. Yeah, Boolean A is longer. Equals false. Damn. Well, we'll call it true. Why do we have to be so negative? If b dot length is greater than a dot length, a is longer does not equal true, so equals false. So what I want to do now is have a for loop, I suppose. This is going to take, maybe this only takes one for loop or something, but this feels like it's not going to have a nested for loop, but the way I'm at least approaching it, I think I'm going to need two for loops. So int I equals 0, I is less than string dot, or so this needs to be the size of the smaller string. Fuck. So int small string length. Small string len is equal to a dot length, and then a dot, or this is gonna be small string length. Oh, I'm doing this backwards. I'm doing this backwards. Okay. So is equal to b dot length. Sorry, this one's giving me a bit of trouble. It's making me rack my brain a bit. So this is going to be small string length I++. So what we're going to do here is, oh, we need the result string. So we're going to go with string mixed string is equal to an empty string. We're going to be adding to that. So mixed string length plus equals a dot substring I plus 1 plus b dot substring of the same one. Okay, so that's gonna clear out that's going to clear out whatever the smaller string is. And then for the next part, maybe I don't even need another for loop. I can just say if a is longer, then we're going to need the rest of a, right? So we'll need to add it to it. So mixed string is plus equals whatever is left of a. So a dot substring, and then it's going to be it's going to be a dot length minus b dot length, right? So because that's how much is left, and then it's a dot length, and this is if a is longer. Did I do that right? I think I put too many parentheses here. A dot length. There we go, that's better. Else, this means else is if b is longer, mixed, oh, I put mixed string plus equals b dot substring. It's going to be just like this last one. B dot length minus a dot length b dot length. Okay. Return mixed string. I think there's about a 25% chance of this working on the first time. I probably messed something up somewhere, so let's find out. Yeah. Okay, I cannot find symbol small string length. Oh, of course not, because there we go. I used it multiple times the wrong way. I was worried that when I put in len that I would keep using the wrong one. Come on. I used it everywhere else the wrong way. Mixed string len. Oh, this is... There we go. Whew! Okay, so there's a severe problem with whatever I just did. Okay, so small string length is equal to b dot length. What did I do? How in the world did I time it out? Does that mean that it can't escape the for loop? So small string length is going to be equal to b dot length unless b is bigger than a, then small string length is equal to a dot length. So this is always going to be equal to the smallest one. Is this for some reason changing small string length or something? Let's see. I'm gonna have to sit here and read this one for a bit. Boolean a is longer is true. Okay. So if a is longer, then the small string length is gonna be b, of course. Otherwise, if b is bigger than a in length, then a is not going to be the longest one, and the small string length is going to be equal to a's length. And then for n I equals 0, I is less than small string length. Yes. I plus plus. Mixed string is equal to A substring and B substring, and we know there's going to be room in that for both of them because they're not going to go any further than the smallest string length. Then after that's over, if A is longer, then we add the rest of A to the string, and otherwise if B is longer, we add the rest of B to it, and then we return the string. Okay, so we've got a slightly different... Okay, so what's going on here? So I've messed up something here, it looks like, now. Because, yeah, with this... Okay, so in these, it looks like I've just totally added the entire substring of A onto... Oh, that's what I've done. Okay, so there's a little bit of a mathematical problem here. I'm making it become bigger each time, which is not what I want to do. Actually, to be honest, I think that works. Alright, we figured it out. I kind of It kind of gave me a time, but I should be alright. Alright, given a string with an int n, return a string made of n repetitions of the last characters of the string. You may assume that n is between 0 and the length of the string inclusive. So it means that there's going to be room for us to do this. Okay. This is pretty simple. So string repeated string is equal to empty string. For and I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus of n repetitions of the last n characters. Okay, so it's going to use n for two different things. Repeated string plus equals string dot substring. So it's going to be string dot length minus n, and then string dot length, I think. Return repeated string. I think that's right. Nice. With ease. Much easier than the last one. Given a string of int n, return a string made of the first characters of the string. Given a string of an int n, given a string and an int n, return a string made of the first n characters of the string, followed by the first n minus 1 characters of the string, and so on. You may assume that n is between 0 and the length of the string. Okay, I can manage that. String repeated string is equal to empty string. So this is just a variation of the last one that we did almost, except this is first characters. So, and I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So repeated string plus equals, it's going to be string dot substring I minus n minus I. That's a weird thing, but that's exactly what we need to do. Oh no. It's 0. It's always going to be 0, and then it's going to be I minus n minus I. Is that right? No. N minus I. There we go. I think that's right. And then return repeated string. I hope that's right. That sounds right. Go. Perfect. Alright, getting the hang of this. I think I'll do one more before I shut this video down. Let's turn it to actually a good song. I want to listen to Bone Trestle. That's good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Given two strings, word and a separator sep, return a big string made of count occurrences of the word separated by the separator string. Okay. Okay, so we gotta have the resultant string. I don't know what even to call it. I'll just call this one result. Let's get lazy. For int I equals count, or 0, I is less than count, I plus plus. So we're gonna go result plus equals word plus. Well, we don't want to do. We want to make sure that we don't put the separator one on the end because that'll make it wrong. So if I is I minus 1 is equal to count, or if I plus 1 is equal to count, I should say. I should have some comments. This is the first time I'm going to do a comment. If this is the last iteration of this is the last time word will be added. If this is not the last time, I should say, because we want does not equal, because we want this to work every other time that. Okay. Result plus equals sep. That should work. Return result. So this basically what it every time, you know, it goes through the count, it adds the word part, and then it says, okay, if this is this the last time that we're gonna add word? If it isn't the last time we're gonna add word, we'll add the separator. But basically, this if statement's gonna make it so that the last time that we go around this bend here, it won't slap that separator on the end, because we don't want the separator on the end. So for example, with this, you don't want the X on the end here, or that'll get wrong. If I simply put result plus equals word plus separator, we would get one more X on this. Another thing that you could do, I don't know which one's more efficient. I guess it depends on the situation. You could also just go ahead and say result plus equals word plus separator, and then after the for loop finishes iterating, change result, say something like result is equal to result.substring, and then say, you know, you keep the entirety of the word except for you can keep the entirety of the result except for dot length minus sep dot length, and that would just remove the last separator that you added on it. It adds another step, but then again, this you know, resolving this if statement every single time you go through the for loop also adds various extra work. So I don't know which one's better. This one seems more cool, so I'm gonna do that one. Word plus sep, and then we'll try to do this here and see if this works the way I'm thinking it will. Yeah, it did. Awesome. Okay, well, this is the last one I'm gonna do. That was a lot of fun.